Another great destination hub is the Cottonwood area. We stayed at the Origins Bed and Breakfast in Cottonwood as it was more central to the nearby attractions and less expensive than staying in Sedona. This was our third Arizona destination hub on our epic Arizona itinerary, with Page and Flagstaff being our first two hubs. This is Darryl
and Aaron
on Travel with D&E. Let us show you the many attractions of the Cottonwood destination hub.
Northeast of Cottonwood are the attractions closer to Sedona that includes the Chapel of the Holy Cross, Bell Rock Trailhead, Red Rock District at Coconino National Forest, and the Blue McDonald's establishment, and the natural beauty of Sedona itself.
Northwest of Cottonwood includes Clarkdale. It has the Verde Canyon Railroad, the Arizona Copper Art Museum, the Tuzigoot National Monument, and the Verde River access point is also located before you get into Clarkdale.
West of Clarkdale is the town of Jerome. The attractions in Jerome include the sliding jail, the Jerome Historic State Park, and many other historic and quirky buildings in Jerome.
Continuing west and southwest across the mountains from Jerome, you do drop out into the Prescott Valley and the town of Prescott's historic district.
Historic attractions southeast of Cottonwood include the Montezuma Castle and Montezuma Well National Monuments and the Fort Verde State Park.
While in the Cottonwood area, we stayed at the Origins Bed and Breakfast in Cottonwood. So leaving Flagstaff, we decided to go south on Highway 89A down to Sedona and then Cottonwood for our Origins Bed and Breakfast. One challenge coming down Highway 89A was the traffic. A popular creek runs along the highway, so on weekends or on holidays, the traffic gets quite bad. The Slide Rock State Park was also extremely busy. Traffic was backed up into the turn lane onto the main highway. So for the next few days, we visited the following attractions while staying at the Origins B&B in Cottonwood. We then headed to the Hacienda Linda Bed and Breakfast across the mountains from Tucson in the desert adjacent to the Saguaro National Park, which is where our next Arizona destination travel hub is located. Again, let's take a closer look at the attractions around the Cottonwood area.
Perched among the red rocks in Sedona, the Chapel of the Holy Cross stands as a testament to both architectural marvel and natural beauty. The stunning chapel nestles within the breathtaking landscape of the Coconino National Forest just south of Sedona, surrounded by towering rock formations and the red buttes of the Sedona that leave visitors in awe. Make this attraction a part of your Sedona, Arizona visit. The Chapel of the Holy Cross is a cruciform-influenced structure in the working Roman Catholic Church, built upon the red buttes near Sedona. The chapel is under the Roman Catholic Diocese of Phoenix, and its ministry is conducted by St. John Vianney Parish, Sedona.
Bell Rock is one of the first sights you see as you approach Sedona from the south. Bell Rock is an iconic geographic landmark representing the natural beauty that abounds in this area of Arizona, and is also known for its vortex meditation upflow quantities, whatever that is. It's located south of Sedona and north of the village of Oak Cross Creek on Arizona Highway 179. Bell Rock's a butte with an elevation at a summit of close to 5,000 feet above sea level. Its panoramic views make it a popular landmark and tourist attraction. The rock formation resembles a bell with a base much wider than the top. It has the Baby Bell Rock to the north and the Courthouse Butte to the east.
We also made a quick stop by the Red Rock Visitor Center south of Sedona in the village of Oak Creek to take a few pictures and be astonished by the views of Red Rock in the background. You were able to learn about the area's many scenic wonders and world-class recreation opportunities here at this stop.
In order to preserve Sedona's natural beauty and keep the overall aesthetics of the town, McDonald's switched their famous golden arches to blue. You will not see another McDonald's with the famous blue arches anywhere in the world.
Northwest of Cottonwood is the town of Clarkdale. In 1912, William A. Clark founded the town, his namesake, as a model company town for his United Verde Copper Company, smelter, and employees. The smelter operated for more than 45 years, providing jobs and economic growth for the town. Through tourism, the railroad continues to add to the economy, even though the mines have been closed for well over a half a century.
The Verde Canyon Railroad train in Clarkdale is a historic and quite entertaining ride into the Verde Canyon alongside the Verde River. We greatly enjoy the laid-back tour as the historic train ride took us over bridges and trestles, through a tunnel, into canyons, and even past a backdrop for Western movies. All this plus an air-conditioned and comfortable railroad ride, along with fascinating history and expert narration by the car attendants as we explored the backcountry of the Verde Canyon and along the Verde River.
In 1958, John and Patricia Minke of Minnesota discovered some copper molds at an antique shop that intrigued them. Later on, they opened a small antique shop themselves, collecting many of the artwork items shown today in this museum. The shop closed in 1970, but they continued to sell copperware through 2003 at antique shows throughout the U.S., with many of the items coming from Europe. In early 2000, the Minkes began having visions of placing their extensive collection to a museum for the public to enjoy. In 2002, the museum was established. The copper art is displayed in different rooms in different collections, all telling a story of copper.
Tuzigoot National Monument is an ancient multi-level 110-room Pueblo complex perched on a hilltop overlooking the lush green Verde River Valley right outside of Clarkdale. The site and visitor center offers a fascinating glimpse into the rich history and culture of the Native American Sinagua people and how they lived more than 1,000 years ago. This is the same Sinagua civilization that also built the communities at the Montezuma Castle and Montezuma Well National Monuments, along with the Pueblos at the Wupatki National Monument. The Tuzigoot Pueblo and Architectural Site is administered by the National Park Service.
The Tuzigoot River Access Point provides a day-use area year-round located on property owned by the Arizona State Park System and is part of the Verde River Greenway State Natural Area. The public can access this off of Tuzigoot Road. The turnoff leads to a 4-acre parking area. There are 2 parking spaces designated as handicap accessible on the southeast end of the parking area.
Now west of Cottonwood, just up the hill from Clarkdale, is the town of Jerome. It played a pivotal role in the mining industry, particularly in the extraction of copper and other valuable minerals. It was once known as the wickedest town in the West due to its rowdy reputation. Jerome was a bustling boomtown during the early 20th century. Today it stands as a testament to the resilience and spirit of the people who call it home.
The Jerome Sliding Jail, built in 1905, was constructed to accommodate the town's growing rowdy population. Initially, the concrete cell block served as the town's jailhouse, and it operated for around 30 years. The foundation of the jail started to get stressed by the dynamite blasting from the nearby underground mining shafts. Ultimately, the jail pulled away from the rest of the structure and began sliding ever so slightly, eventually sliding 225 feet downhill and ended up right in the middle of the town's main street. The road was altered to go around it. Years later, the Arizona Department of Transportation pushed it completely off the side of Hole Avenue to where it sits today.
Visitors to Jerome State Historical Park can explore an indoor and outdoor museum and fascinating historic buildings and immerse themselves in the rich history of the area. The museum offers a comprehensive look at the town's history from its mining origins and underground mines to its cultural transformation into an artist's paradise and tourist destination. The state park indoor and outdoor exhibits feature mining equipment, how copper is used, mining artifacts, minerals, historic photographs, a video presentation, a wine cellar, billiard room, picnic tables, and a 3D model of the town. It's a beautiful panoramic view of the Verde Valley. Museum exhibits are presented in and around the historic former home of James S. Douglas Mansion, built in 1916. The location is the hill just above his Little Daisy mine.
We decided to go west across the mountain from Jerome to Prescott. The historic Whiskey Row is known for its bars and live music venues. There was a flea market or some kind of celebration going on the day we visited. We attempted to go through a number of the museums, like the Charlotte Hall Museum and the Smoking Museum, but they were closed, unfortunately. So just think about that when it's on a holiday, as this was July 4th, and they may or may not be open.
So now heading southeast of Cottonwood, you got the Montezuma Castle National Monument. It's a set of well-preserved dwellings located near Camp Verde, Arizona, which were built and used by the Sinagua people, a pre-Columbian culture closely related to the Hohokam and other indigenous peoples of the southwestern United States between approximately 1100 and 1425 AD. The Montezuma Castle is a 5-story, 20-room mud and stone structure dating from about 1100 CE, built into a cavity in the limestone cliff face about 80 feet above the valley floor by the prehistoric Sinagua people. It took about 3 centuries to complete.
The availability of water in this area of the Verde Valley is critical for life to exist. In an entire year, Montezuma well receives less than 13 inches of rainfall, which is about 1/3 of the national average in the United States, yet the well contains over 15 million gallons of water. You can clearly see how a lavender green ecosystem around the well appears. Every day the well is replenished with 1.5 million gallons of new water, which has a nearly constant temperature of 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Like a bowl with a crack in it, the water flows through a long narrow cave in the southeast rim to appear on the other side of the outlet by the river. Montezuma Well's steady outflow has been used for irrigation since the 8th century, part of the prehistoric irrigation ditch preserved near the park's picnic ground, and portions of the ditch's original route are still in use today.
Fort Verde State Park is located in Camp Verde, Arizona. The fort was built as an Apache Wars era fort, built to house soldiers protecting settlers in areas from raids by the Tonto Apache from the south and east and the Yavapai from the west. Upon request for military protection in 1865, first volunteers and then in 1866, U.S. Army soldiers protected the settlers from the frequent raids of crops and livestock committed by the local Indians. There's a few original structures of the fort that includes the parade ground, officer quarters, and the administration building, now used as a visitor center. The visitor center has a great display of items covering Fort Verde's history, which we enjoyed checking out. The 3 officers' quarters available for tour include the commanding officer, bachelor, and surgeon quarters. The rooms show furniture and other items that would be time period and ranked correct.
While exploring in Cottonwood, we stayed 2 nights in the Canyon Room at the Origin Bed and Breakfast, located in Cottonwood. Jeff and Karen, our hosts, were very friendly and knowledgeable of the local history and sites. The facilities were excellent and the breakfast was as well. We highly recommend the Origin Bed and Breakfast. If you will be in the Sedona Cottonwood area, you can't go wrong going to the Origins Bed and Breakfast.
We highly recommend making Cottonwood a destination hub for your trip in Arizona. There are several points for attractions extending 360 degrees around Cottonwood. All were great, but the biggest highlight of this portion of our trip was the Verde Canyon Railroad ride. It was excellent, and I highly recommend it to everyone if you're going to be in this area. The Origins Bed and Breakfast was also a great spot to explore in the Cottonwood Sedona area. Please note, if you're interested in more information on these attractions, we have more detailed videos from most of our Travel with D&E channel. So please check them out, as they have much more information, including the history of the attractions, where it's located, what to expect on the trail or site, and more. If you like this content, go ahead and check out the rest of the Arizona trip videos covering our entire Arizona Travel Hub locations, including Page, Cottonwood, Tucson, and Phoenix. We hope you enjoyed this video on the attractions around Cottonwood. We hopefully inspire you to take a fun trip. Thanks for watching, and as always, we will see you in the next video.